So you found that special someone. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. You want to be with them. The only thing is, they live a long ways away. Well, you know what? That's not a problem. We got this. This is easy. We're going to make this work. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Stu, and the only thing I want for you, my only goal here is for you to have a fantastic long-term relationship. And I'm talking not only about the type of relationship that's rewarding, where you're happy and you love your partner, but the type of relationship where you guys can help each other grow in ways you never imagined so you can be the best humans you can be. A relationship that really brings you together and takes you to that next level. Today, I'm going to tell you how to make a long-distance relationship work. Now, I've been in one. I've studied them. I've talked to counselors about them. I've watched many long-distance relationships and really analyzed them. And I found 5 common traits, 5 tips, 5 things where if they exist, your long-distance relationship is going to work. That's just the way it is. It's going to happen. So what are those tips? If you and your partner can pull these off, you guys are set. You're gold. Let's get into these. Tip number 1. And this is far and away the most important tip, the number 1 thing that's going to help you guys be all right. And that is, once you and your partner realize that there's going to be a long distance element to your relationship, you sit down and you make an end plan. You guys figure out when you're going to be back together. In other words, you set that date, you've set it in stone, and it doesn't matter if it's 3 weeks or 3 years in the future, as long as you're both on the same page, you know exactly when that's going to happen. Then you also figure out how that's going to happen. Are you going to move to their city? Are they going to move to your city? Are the two of you going to both move somewhere new? Whatever you guys decide, that's going to be your plan, and that's going to give you guys something to look forward to and keep you on that path towards eventual reunion. You're going to know when and how that's going to happen. This is going to eliminate uncertainty, some insecurities that may come up, and just make you know that this distance isn't going to last forever. And that's huge. So, tip number 1, make an end plan. Tip number 2, and this is going to seem like a no-brainer, but it's communication. Now, in a long-distance relationship, you can't get in front of that person. You don't have face-to-face time. You don't have physical presence. But what you do have is you have so many ways to stay in contact with each other. And whatever you choose, whether that be text, emails, phone calls, you have to make sure that you communicate to each other what expectations you have in terms of communication. And by that, I mean what you need. Now, you and your partner may need something different. You guys may want to talk to each other every night. One person may say like, hey, I love just getting a 1-minute phone call every night before I go to bed. Someone else may say, hey, look, we're in different time zones. I love those morning texts. I know you're going to wake up a couple hours before me, but if you don't mind just sending me like a good morning text, that way I can wake up and the first thing I see on my phone is a message from you. Whatever it is, talk to each other what you want. And this can change over time and you can develop new plans. But the number 2 tip is to communicate and meet each other's communication needs, whatever that may look like. So tip number 3. And this goes hand in hand with communication, but really it extends to so much more. It's going to be an overarching theme throughout your entire long-distance relationship. And that is, you want to create structure. You want to develop routines. You want to come up with activities that happen on a scheduled basis. You want to create expectations. You want to give your partner, and your partner should give you, things that you can rely on that are going to happen, whether that be that nightly phone call, an email once every other day. It doesn't matter. Just create something that's regular that you know is going to happen on a schedule. People love regularity. People love predictability, especially when they're not able to be with their significant other. So if you're able to give them that, that's going to create a lot of security and help them feel so much better and help you feel better in that relationship as well. So here's some suggestions on how to create structure. Decide that you guys are going to see each other at least once a month. One of you will fly out and then you may alternate. Or decide that you're going to have phone calls on a regular basis. Decide that you're going to send emails on a regular basis. Decide that maybe once a month you guys are going to watch movies together. Whatever that is, decide it ahead of time and give the other person something to look forward to. And number 4, now this may sound like it contradicts what I just told you, but it doesn't. It enhances it. And that is surprises. Surprises in your relationship, good surprises, add flavor. They add life. They make that other person just happy, and it helps build bonds between you. Now, you do want to maintain structure, and you do want to do what you guys have agreed upon, but you also want to surprise your partner every now and then. And from a long distance, it may seem like it's more difficult to surprise them, but you just have to think outside the box. You want to do little things every now and then to spice up your partner's life and just to make them a little bit happier. And when you do these things, it's very important. Don't expect something in return. It may not be in your partner's love language to provide you with a surprise or to think in the same way that you do, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just not how they express their affection. So some of the suggestions here on how to create small little surprises are: send your partner flowers unexpectedly. If you know they're going to be home after a long day at work, order DoorDash and have it ready for them sitting on their doorstep when they get home. Or even give them a 15-minute notice like, hey, DoorDash is going to show up in 15 minutes with some sushi that I ordered you. Send them an actual letter, like a real piece of mail. That's unexpected. Who gets that these days? If you visit your partner, maybe leave a note hidden somewhere around their house or under their pillow so they can see that after you leave and they'll remember you and think about you. Now, with these surprises, variety is important. You don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again because then it becomes routine and you want to break out of the routine. The whole idea here is to sort of keep things unexpected and light. And keep in mind when you're doing this, that different is better than better. Mix it up. It's better to do something different than to do the same thing, even trying to improve upon what you've already done. So different is better than better. Keep that in mind. And finally, tip number 5. This is something you can practice on your own side. And that is to manage the insecurity and the anxiety. Without a doubt, at some point in the relationship, you're going to become uncertain. You're going to become insecure as to whether or not your partner's losing interest in you, what they're doing, have they found someone else. Those securities are going to rise. It's just a fact. It's going to happen. So there's several ways to handle this. The first is keep in mind that as more time passes, the more trust is going to build up between you two. And trust is the number one key to eliminate anxiety and insecurity. Once you've got trust down, you guys are solid. You're good. But it can take years for trust to develop. And trust develops slower when you're not around that other person. So keep that in mind. Over time, trust will develop. Anxieties will lessen. But let's speed that up. Let's make that happen a little bit faster. How do you do this in the moment? Okay, you're going to create those expectations we talked about in tip 3. You're going to stick to them. That's going to help your partner build trust on their side. They're going to stick to them, and that's going to help you build trust on your side. Also, lead by example. This is going to help reduce anxiety by showing your partner, by example, how to behave in a long-distance relationship. No one's born with this stuff. We don't know it from the beginning on how to do this. But if you were to act in a way that you want your partner to act, they're going to watch and they're going to learn and they're going to pick up some of these behaviors. So for example, let's say you were out last night, you had to work late, traffic was terrible and you didn't get home and you could just in time. And as soon as you did get home, you completely crashed and forgot to give your partner that good night phone call. Well, you know what? The next day, pick up the phone, give them a call, explain exactly what happened, apologize, and tell them it won't happen again. And show them that, hey, I am thinking about you. Sometimes things come up, things happen. But when they do, I'm going to communicate and talk to you. And they're going to learn. And they're going to do the same thing when that happens to them. And then they're in those situations. Or if something is going to preemptively come up that's going to disrupt your structure or disrupt your communication, let them know ahead of time. So let's say that your parents are coming in this weekend and you're going to be spending almost every minute with mom and dad and your sister and their kids. Let's say that that's going to happen. Tell your partner as soon as you find out, hey, my folks are coming into this town. My sister's going to be here with her kids. I love you. I am going to miss you that weekend, but I just won't be able to talk to you as much until Monday after they go home. They're just going to take up every moment I have. So please, if you don't hear anything from me for the next few days or for the next few hours, it's because my folks are here. I'll send you pictures afterwards. I want to hear about how your weekend was. I love you, and I'll talk to you as soon as I can. And just do that. Be respectful. Be courteous. Treat them as you would want them to treat you. It's really that easy. Then finally, to help manage anxiety and just emotional stress in a long-distance relationship, flat out talk to them about it. If you're not sure what they're up to or what they're doing or what something means, ask them. Ask them directly. Like, hey, ask them in the most soft and gentle way you can. Hey, I just haven't gotten a message from you in a while. Just kind of wondering what's up, what's going on? Or if they're doing something they don't like or that you do like, let them know. Let them know, like, hey, I love those surprises that you send my way. Or, every now and then you send me the most funny picture of your dog. I absolutely love that. That's great. Thanks for doing that. Or that you love your weekly phone calls. that you just love catching up with them on the weekend. That makes you so happy. Let them know the positive stuff. Now, if there's something that you're doing or that they're doing that you don't like, let them know that as well. Like, hey, we talked about having our evening phone calls, but you haven't called me the last 2 nights. What's going on there? I'd love to hear from you in the evenings, even if it's just for a few minutes. Okay, everyone, so remember those 5 tips. If you can pull those off, and if you can do those 5 simple things I just told you, your long-distance relationship is going to work, and you're going to end up with that person when the time is right. It's that easy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I was in a long-term relationship for about a year, and it worked wonderfully. I'd love to help you out with any details or anything that comes up unexpectedly. I want you to have a successful long-term relationship. I want you to have a successful long-distance relationship. So please let me know below if there's anything I can help out with. Also, please hit the subscribe button so I can keep sending you guys content. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.